Okay, welcome to the April 7th, 2021 meeting of the Lakeville Parks Commission. In accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general laws 30A, paragraph 20, relating to the 2020 novel coronavirus outbreak emergency of April 7th, 2020. I don't think so. I'm not sure what the date is, but it wasn't April 7th.
No.
Public meeting of the Lakeville Parks Commission shall be physically closed to the public to avoid group congregation. However, to view this meeting in process, please go to facebook.com/LakeCAM. You do not need a Facebook account to view the meeting. This meeting will be recorded and available to be viewed at a later date at www.lakecam.tv. At this moment, I'll be confirming all the members. As a preliminary matter, this is Scott Holmes. I'm the chairman of the Lakeville Parks Commission. Permit me to confirm that all members and staff and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Commissioners, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Okay, Joe Kasha,
Hi.
Tony Cupie,
Here. Hi.
how you doing?
Good. How are
Paula
you?
Hool
Here.
and Darlene Donnelly.
Oh, you can add Lee on that, but that's fine. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, all right, I
Legally,
see that now.
legally, I'm Lee.
Okay,
Okay,
Darlene
just-
Lee Donnelly.
oh, Don Lee. It's okay.
What's
You
that?
got It's fine.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
We'll get it. It's fine.
Okay, staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Nellie Woodburn,
Here.
and that's it. Nobody else is here tonight? Nellie? No one.
Nope, Doug is coming later.
Great. Anticipated speakers on the agenda. Doug Berry, he's not here at the moment. Good evening. This is open meeting of the Lakeville Parks Commission is being conducted remotely consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of the emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings. And as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Furthermore, all members of public bodies are allowed to encourage to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with the agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as to reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment with the exception of Doug. For this meeting, the Lakeville Parks Commission is convening by video conference via Zoom as posted on the town's website. For Zoom meetings, please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference, all attendees. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Materials. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. Ground rules. Please, we are now turning to the first agenda item. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they have concluded their remarks, I will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking.
How do I do that?
Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields you the floor and state your name before speaking. If members wish to talk with each other, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. Finally, each vote will be taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. That's done. Okay. Well, we're going to welcome our new commissioners, Darlene and Tony. Welcome to the board.
Thank you.
Thank you for stepping up.
Thank you.
We needed some help, and you guys delivered. Thank you.
All right.
I'm going to move some things around here on the budget on the agenda. First thing we're going to do is review any minutes that need reviewing. date of 3/22/21. I believe Joe and Paula were here for that meeting.
Yes,
was
and
not.
just to note, Commissioner Nolan, well, ex-Commissioner Nolan did review the minutes and approved them prior to his commission ending.
Okay. Joe, do you have any corrections or comments for Nellie?
No, we took care of those already.
Okay. Paula, you all set?
I'm all set.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept the March 22nd, 2021 minutes.
I second the motion.
Okay. All those in favor? Joe Kasha,
Aye.
Paula Hool.
Aye.
Okay, Tony and Darlene, you can't vote. You weren't here. So nothing against you. I'm just moving forward. Okay. So we're going to come back to reorganization of the commission. Has everyone had a chance to look at the duties of duties and roles, responsibilities? I don't know if you guys have had a chance to look at it. What we've done for the past 4 or
Chairman?
5 years.
Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
The roles, et cetera, seem to be outdated.
Yep, I know. We're going to get to that.
Okay, just wanted to mention that before you started.
I know that. I know
Thank
that. Just to let you guys know, what we've kind of done for the last 4 or 5 years is to create like a liaison for each one of these things. It's not that you're running the show. The board makes the decisions. But just for instance, say if you're the Clear Pond person, you know, you'd be the one that might be the day-to-day talk with our director. Not that any one of us can go down there and talk with our director, but you know, you'd be the first one that they'd call so that you're getting phone calls from one thing and not maybe all areas of the park. And that's all. That's the only reason why we've tried to do this, to try and streamline it a little bit so that everybody has a position and is a go-to person for something. Okay.
Okay.
Our roles here have changed somewhat. As you go down, you see chairman, vice chairman, payroll signee. The fourth one down on the front page says TWC scheduler. What we did last year was we broke up the scheduling so that each one, four of the board members each took a little piece of the scheduling so that not one person gets overwhelmed with it, because it can be very busy in the springtime. And again, you're the go-to person. You're the first line of defense. Shouldn't say defense. First line for the board, so that you know if you're in charge of softball, then they would call you first. That's all. And, you know, any decisions are made by the board, so you would bring it back to the board, and then we would talk about it. Okay, so that's kind of what we've done, just so that one person, mainly maybe the chairman, doesn't receive, you know, all these phone calls and has to deal with it.
Scott, can
all
I
by
ask
themselves.
a question there?
Yeah.
Can I, so with the scheduling of the softball and whatever it is, do the different leagues present you with a calendar of what they want to see, and then you just kind of say, okay, well, this can happen at this time, and then it's set up for the next couple months or so?
Right. They're supposed to provide us with schedules, all the groups.
Right.
Okay. So just for instance, like, you know, if like Joe's doing the baseball fields. So, he was, you know, so he was coordinating with, you know, men's softball, Little League, AAU, you know, so he's coordinating with different things in the different fields. So that, yeah, he has to get the schedules for that.
Okay.
Soccer, you know, per se is not too bad because, you know, other than women's soccer and the soccer club, they work together with their schedules, you know, beforehand, you know, so there's no problems or no issues. Volleyball, we have a couple of groups. They've worked well in the past couple of years, and, you know, they share the courts. You know, one has it like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, the other has it Monday, Wednesday, you know, and so they work it out. But it's still up to that board member to oversee the scheduling. You know, we had a problem a few years ago where the board member just let
No.
AAU baseball make their own schedule, and one team had, 20 home games and the other team had 5, and it wasn't fair. So that's why, things like that have to go through the board.
Right.
Or at least the scheduler, so that there's an equitable, distribution of the field for any groups that want to use it.
Sure.
So other than that one, that's not a position we all kind of jump in and do that. Okay, so that's not one of these roles.
Scott, are we going to review all those sports again and divvy it up? Because we lost some people, so we have
Yep.
to talk about who's going to schedule what sports.
Yep, we can, and we'll do that after we, I think after we reorganize.
Okay.
So we have the chair, vice chair. Payroll signee is just that. It's just, you have to sign the payroll. Nellie works with you on that. That's not a big deal. There's John Pond and Claire Pond and Ted Williams Camp, and then the lodge.
Okay. Can I go?
Oh,
Do you have your hand up? Yes.
I have my, is that
I
how
have
you,
that.
what, do you want me to just raise my hand? Because I don't want to just yell.
Yeah, that's fine. That's perfect.
So I'm going to get the ball. Can I get the ball rolling here?
Well,
You named all the chairs. So can I nominate Joe for chair of the Park Commission? Is that what you do next?
it is.
Okay, I nominate Joe for chair.
Second the motion.
I third the motion.
gang up
Okay.
on Joe today?
It's
Joe, do you
you.
accept the motion? Do
Like,
you-
behind the motion to leave right now.
Do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
All those in favor of making Joe Kasha the upcoming chairman for the year?
Aye.
Well, I have to go roll call. Sorry. That's all right.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's all right.
I come
Tony
from a
Cupie.
committee. I come from a school committee background. Remember, I'm
Aye.
going to open my big mouth. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Tony voted aye. Paula Hool,
Aye.
Darlene,
Aye.
Scott Holmes, aye. Joe Kasha, would you like a vote?
No.
Okay. So moved. Joe Kasha will be the new chairman for the upcoming year. Congratulations, Joe.
Well, thank you very much, folks.
Good luck.
Joe, it's all up to you now. Joe, you're on now.
Okay. So we have a chair and we need a vice chair. Would anyone like to step up and be the vice chair? The vice chair primarily fills in for the chair and runs a meeting, or would go to a town sponsored meeting if the chair couldn't make it. That just fills the role of the vice chairman for the chairman.
You want me to nominate somebody?
Sure.
I'll nominate Paula.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. I'll second that motion.
Third.
Paula, will you accept the nomination?
Under duress, yes.
Okay. So we're going to take a vote. We're going to vote for Paula to be the vice chairman. Joe Kasha, how do you vote?
All right.
Tony Cupie?
Aye.
Darlene? There you
Aye.
are.
Aye.
Scott Holmes, aye. Paula, would you like to vote?
No, I think I'll pass. Thank you.
Okay. And it's passed. Paula is the new vice chair. Thank you, Paula. Great. Okay. So we need a couple of payroll signees.
I'll do it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mind. I'll do it.
Yeah, it's just getting together with Nellie and she takes care of it all, gets it all together for you, and you just got to come by and sign it. Do a check.
I'd love to visit Nellie.
Okay, great.
We'll
Great.
make it a thing.
Thanks, Darlene.
You're welcome.
Is there anybody else that would like to?
Oh, I'll do it too.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We have
This is running smooth. Awesome.
Yep, it's running great. We have a double nomination here for Paula and Darlene to be the payroll signees. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Second. Okay. All those in favor, Joe Kasha,
All right.
Aye.
Tony, thank you. Aye. Scott, aye. Darlene,
Aye.
Paula,
Aye.
so moved. We have vice chair, payroll signees. Okay, now I'm gonna, as the outgoing chair, I'm gonna ask those that were, Joe, how do you feel about continuing on, or do you, I know that John Pond has been your baby. I know how much the chairman takes out in time. So if you want to continue, I think we should allow you to continue at John Pond. If you'd rather pass it on to someone, that's fine too.
I don't have a problem continuing on. Once again, I've got a lot of scheduling stuff too, so some of that stuff's got to come off the plate. So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Well, no, I as chair, I wouldn't have you scheduling anything.
Yes. Okay.
Right. Because, and that's what I was trying to do before when I did this,
Yeah.
was to take some of the stuff off the chair, because the chair was getting hit with all the scheduling. The chair was getting hit with all the phone calls. So that's one of the reasons why we did this,
Yeah.
to break it up a little bit. Okay.
So we'll stay with John Pond.
So we'll stay with Joe at John Pond,
Yeah.
unless Darlene or Tony have an issue with that.
I do not.
Okay.
No.
All right. Again, these are not binding. These are just, we're just kind of divvying up some roles. Clear Pond, Paula had started just recently. I don't know if she wants to continue on that role at Clear Pond or not.
I do.
You do?
I would like an opportunity to be involved in some aspect of Clear Pond.
Well, we can definitely have the both of you work together. I mean,
That'll help Joe. That'll definitely take something off Joe's plate, right?
Well, no, we're talking about Clear Pond.
we're talking about Clear Pond.
I'm sorry. I was at John Pond still. Flipping the page. Okay.
I mean, honestly, either one of those parks that you guys need something with, you should let me know, because I live the closest to those two places. I'm not sure where everyone else lives, but
I live
literally-
close.
I literally live like, a quarter mile from John Pond and probably another half mile from Clear Pond. So again, if you need help with one of those things and you're going to be the sole responsible person for that, but you need assistance with it, then just let me know.
You can be my backup.
Sure.
Well, I mean, there's no reason. I mean, it doesn't mean that you can't go to the park and talk to Doug or whoever the director may be. And I mean, we're all on the board. I mean, it's not just strictly one person. It's just, what we're trying to do is you're the one that's going to field the calls first, so that's all. That's all. I mean, the board makes the final decisions on everything. So, I mean, emergency type situation, the director calls and says, hey, the toilets are overflowing. We got to get the septic guy down here. Absolutely. You make that decision, and then you get back to the board and say, hey, this is what we had to do, but
Right.
on a day-to-day thing, the board makes the decisions. That's all, so we have Ted Williams Camp in the Lodge. If nobody else has objections to it, I don't mind taking over Ted Williams Camp
And I'll
the
help.
employees.
And I'll help you.
Yeah, well, we also have the lodge, and they can work
That'd be great.
together.
That's what I was holding out for.
Okay, all right.
So
Chairman,
I don't mind.
Chairman,
I'll
hold, we have a question for you. So the lodge one, I have the red line mine. Looks like all those duties are no longer applicable.
Right.
But there's still stuff to do there without a doubt. I think we have to really manage. We need a liaison for sure with Boston
Absolutely.
Tavern.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and what it is that person's just going to be the first one they call. They don't call you all the time,
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it is. I mean, we're going to have a new management company. So, I think we're all going to need to pitch in. I mean, I've been here the longest, and I have no problem pitching in and helping out and answer any questions that I can for them. I'm not going to say, well, no, I've got Ted Williams Camp. I don't have the lodge. I've got nothing to do with it. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, we're a small board. We're a working board. And I just, I just want to reiterate that, we're not a board that comes to the meetings and votes, on things every 2 weeks. We get out there and sometimes have to get our hands dirty and do things, as
So Scott,
Paula and Joe can tell you.
yeah.
Yes,
Scott,
Paula.
can I assume that you and Darlene are going to be dealing with the lodge? Is that correct?
I mean, if you're taking Clear Pond,
Yeah.
I think that's going to take up a good
I'm
chunk.
just writing it down so I know
Yep.
who's doing what.
Yep.
Okay.
Darlene said she was holding out for the lodge and,
Yep.
and, I mean, I'll take Ted Williams Camp because that's right. That's the last thing.
Yeah, I'll work with you on both anyways.
No, absolutely. All right,
Yeah.
we're all going to work together, so
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
fine. Okay. So everybody's good. We're good.
Yeah.
We can put that to bed.
Yes.
All right. Now we're going to go back a little bit and we're going to talk about scheduling. Okay. Joe, this is just my assumption, if you're going to work with John Pond, maybe you should just take the softball and not worry about the baseball.
You're right. I'll do the softball and the blooper ball. Anything at John Pond I can
There
take.
you go. Yeah, John Pond.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense, that's what I was getting at as soon as we did this,
Yeah.
if you were going to still stay with that it made sense that person do that scheduling because you're there.
Yeah.
How did we split this up before? We had
I was doing volleyball and lacrosse and
I
football.
was doing volleyball.
No, Jesse was assigned volleyball and basketball.
Yep.
Mike was assigned horseshoes, tennis, and pickleball.
Yep. And I took over for Jesse because he was AWOL. I hope he's
Yep.
safe down there.
I hope so.
Yep. So I'm just trying to look at this and see how we can group them together as efficiently as possible. We had horseshoes and the tennis courts. There's not much scheduling to do with the tennis courts. So it was tennis courts and I'm sorry. It was volleyball.
Pickleball.
No, it was volleyball and basketball.
Basketball.
Courts. Now, basketball courts there's not any real scheduling to do with the basketball courts. But we do have volleyball. Volleyball, horseshoes.
I'd recommend basketball, volleyball, and horseshoes as one person.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, that's where I was going, Joe. I was writing them down. Volleyball, basketball, and horseshoes. You really only got to make a decision between volleyball and they're all set. So that's an easy one to do, but it's still got to be the contact person,
I can do that.
for the board. Tony, you can do that?
Sure.
All right, great. Great. So Tony will take volleyball, basketball, and horseshoes. We're left with baseball fields, soccer fields, football, pickleball, and the new fields, which the new fields are under the new fields. I don't have a problem taking the baseball fields. I've done that before. That would encompass all of the baseball fields, which is 6 of them. Especially if I'm going to be the Ted Williams guy, I might as well take the baseball fields.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Unless someone else wants to. I'm just kind of throwing it out there. So we got,
I don't think I know enough about it to volunteer.
no, I know.
You have to
That's,
umpire.
I'm trying to, Tony's got a good one, that's a good one to start on. So, I, probably, maybe soccer fields and the new fields, Darlene. There's not too much there. You're just kind of the coordinating person.
You know what? I'll do whatever you want me to do. I don't care.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
No, I don't mind. I'm just saying I don't know enough about it, but if someone will give me a quick tutorial, after this meeting, whatever, or another day, so
It's
I have a clue.
scheduling.
No. Yeah, it's scheduling. Yeah. I can't even keep track of my own schedule. I'm like, I don't know if you want me doing scheduling. I don't mind signing the paychecks and stuff, but
Well, the thing is we're getting the schedules. They come into Nellie, she distributes them and then we kind of look at them. I mean, there's no reason that you got to be left out to do it yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
anybody can give you a hand and help you out,
Yeah.
that way you're not, thrown to the wolves.
Okay.
And then we have, well, I was just thinking, I mean, lacrosse practices on the baseball field. So if you want me to take lacrosse with the baseball, I will.
Okay,
And if we did soccer and football as a pair,
well, would that go to me or go to Darlene? Soccer
maybe
and
Darlene,
football?
because there's not too much there.
Okay. Whatever you say. You just tell me what to do. I'll do it.
And
I'm
then we're left with what are we left with?
I don't
The
know.
tennis courts.
That's the pickleball.
Pickleball.
Well, the tennis courts. Paula, can you handle that one?
Sure,
Okay.
but there's nothing on the tennis courts. There's no schedule. Are you referring to a pickleball?
They play on the tennis courts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll be specific, pickleball.
Okay.
And tennis, though. You'll
And
as
tennis.
well.
Yes, absolutely, Joe. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
hopefully
because-
we get that situated this year.
Yeah, the repavement, right?
Whatever, painting, repavement, filling the cracks, whatever we can do. It's just tough to do things without a lot of money. All right, do we have everything covered? Nellie?
Think so.
Practice fields and general court use are the two that I don't have identified yet.
Do we leave that
What,
for the
Joe?
whole commission to review or?
What is that, Joe? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's a practice field and general court use.
Oh, I
You
Practice
mean the
fields
new
where?
fields, right?
It's listed as general court use here. And town league outside baseball groups, is that Scott?
Yep,
Okay,
that's gonna be me.
so practice fields and general court use, sir. I don't know what that means.
We've identified each court, so I don't know what general court
Nellie might know.
practice fields, meaning which fields?
Could that be the soccer field that's down in the one that gets wet? Is that the
Yeah, well,
practice
I
field?
think we can leave that to the board itself,
Okay,
right? That's really the only other practice. Well, the other thing is the new fields. I think we can leave that to the board too, because at this point, we can't do much until we get at least some of the driveway taken care of, some of the parking done.
Hey, Scott, for instance, are the schedules posted on the tennis court or something so that people that are playing tennis know what time?
That's a goal this year, is if we can
Okay.
get something up on the
Well-
fencing.
Yeah, I have a lot of making capability.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. I mean, because,
So you guys just let me know the time on it and I'll print you out something.
yep, we've got to
Okay.
identify and verify the scheduling coming up anyhow.
Okay.
But yeah, that's great, Tony. That's great. That'd be
can I
fantastic.
ask one thing, Scott? If he's doing signs, can he put numbers up on the field so everybody is aware of,
Honestly,
The first time
anything
when
that you
I-
guys want for all weather signage, just email me and I'll make you a sign.
well, I just want to ask the board because I know when I came on, I had a hard time remembering which was field one, which was
Sure.
field
Yeah,
six.
whatever you guys want to do. If you want to do
And
A, B, C,
well,
D, whatever, 1, 2, 3,
But
4.
well, they need to decide whether we can put a little sign up there or number 6-5. Is that all right?
Yeah, we can work on something. I mean,
Yeah.
they are numbered over on the stand-up placard there on the road on the way out. The big sign. The fields are numbered over there, but we
Oh,
can definitely number each field. We can
Yeah,
get each field numbered.
just
put it
makes
up
it
on the fencing.
easier.
Yeah, no. That's fine. That's a great idea. Great idea. Okay, so we got the fields covered, do we think?
I think so.
Okay, good. Let's keep going then.
Is that all of the reorganization then?
I think that's all the reorganization.
Might I suggest that our new chairman take over the meeting?
Request denied. Next. I would suggest Chairman Holmes finish this meeting off and then we'll go from there.
He's not chair anymore. You are.
Remember, we voted you in, Joe.
Again,
Sorry, Joe, you're chair.
we'll have Mr. Holmes continue until the end of this meeting.
Okay,
Is Mr.
I'm gonna
Holmes
keep going.
okay with
I'm gonna keep going.
Just
All
one
right.
quick one, Chairman Holmes, one quick one. Are we going to, some of the verbiage here is outdated, so do we want to just redline that and pass it by for next meeting? Now we get the rules, identified?
Verbiage on what?
Well, like the one on, like the lodge one talks about some stuff that we don't do anymore. Some other stuff that we don't do within the whole document, talk about Lakeville Haunted House and things like that.
Mhm.
So I think we should just
You mean
take a
the one
shot
that
at,
was on this?
yeah, I think we should take a shot and maybe redlining it and put it all together next week, next meeting.
I think it just,
I tell you what, why don't we review it and then we'll finalize it next week? Otherwise, if we don't get going on this agenda, we're gonna be here till 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I hear you. Good idea.
All right, so if everybody can take a look at these, and if you have a question on them, and those of us that have been here for a year or so or more, we can we can work on this.
Mhm.
We can work on this and pare it down, and anything that's going to be added to it, and we can finalize it next meeting. But if we don't get going, we're never going to get out of here.
Yep.
Next on the agenda is the Mass Effect Sports Academy request.
Hi, Scott. I'm just on my phone.
Is that Mr. Berry I hear?
Yes, it is. I'm on the phone.
All right, great. Thank you, Doug, for coming on board.
You betcha.
All right, I'm looking for, I had it. Now I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is pretty much the same request that you had done last year, and then we weren't able to do much.
Exactly correct. It's just we don't need a designated field or anything. Numbers are down. It could be it's just small groups and individual. We've already been working. We work with some of the other leagues around. In the wintertime, we go over to Somerset, over to the Teamworks and so forth, and we're just looking for a designated place so that we can offer things to the young kids in town as far as sports acquisition, basic skills and so forth like that. It's an age group like 8 to 15 or so in that vicinity. We have set it up as a business because it's the Mass Effect, and so forth. We do have payroll. We do have all the Corey checks. We have everything set up. We have the liability insurance, accidents insurance, all that stuff's been done. It's all in effect as of April 1st this year. And we just want to start basically advertising the fact that we have a central location of Ted Williams Camp, and we work around everything there. Nothing will be set up unless it is set up to not interfere with anything. We just need some space every once in a while, as you know.
Yep.
We're not a team. There's no teams. There's nothing like that. It's just for small group instruction, and going from there. We do. For example, we've been working with a couple of young girls just doing as far as pitching and softball. We've been in, as well as we've been working. We went last year once or twice over there with people who are pretty talented, like top-rated quarterbacks in the country as far as high school, and they're headed to D1 college and so forth. And it was just working on their skills. They might have one receiver, two receivers to throw to, and that's about it. And that's pretty much about it. We want to advance to, as we go along, we want to, for example, also add things for, of course, this is for all boys and girls, but we also want to add, possibly down the road as we go on, arts and crafts and basic skills. We have also a person who works with the professionally with the Pirates, the Mass Pirates, and so forth, and he wants to come in and run speed clinics for small group speed clinics for small groups of say 2 to 3, 4, 5 in that vicinity, as far as increasing their running skills and so forth like that.
Okay. I'm gonna put it out to the board individually here and see if they have any questions. Doug, is that okay?
That's fine.
Joe, do you have any questions for Doug?
Yes, I do. I read what you wrote here, Doug. A question for you, is there a listing like we asked for other teams? I mean, I'm assuming we'd have them fill out this private use contract for field time, just so we can get a contract with where they're gonna be. I know it's not a specific
Sure.
field. We'd want those details, what days, what time and all that, but we'd also
Right.
want, like a lot of teams, we ask for the names of the people, so we would also be looking for your people in your staff, if you will, who would be there.
Right.
So,
Right. In the beginning, it's just going to be myself, my wife, and my son. We're all COVID checked. We're all that. We're all certified. We're all COVID protocol and all that stuff. I've been dealing with that stuff at the high school for, so we're pretty aware of all that stuff, and we've taken all the certifications.
But-
And as we would hold all the things, we'd fill out all that. I know we have to get porta johns and designated and so forth like that. We're going to have a strict registration when they come in. We're going to have ID tags that they'll scan when they come in, scan when they leave. We'll do all the tracing. Everything's touchless. Like I said, through the schools and so forth like that, so we become very aware of how to do it as the coaching procedure advances through this COVID protocols and all that stuff.
So I know you talked about April vacation. You want to start April vacation?
Right.
I don't know the dates on that. Must be in a couple of weeks, probably, whatever that is.
It's
Right.
not
It's in
the
a couple
next week.
weeks. Yeah.
It's 2 weeks
Yeah.
from now, third week in April.
Okay, so are you asking for just that week in April vacation, or are you looking at other times?
No, that's once we want to be able to give the kids a chance to be able to play some different things and so forth. Some of them, as have been contact, a few of them have already asked if there's any parents have asked when we're going to be able to start, if we could do anything over vacation, because they want to be able to plan that out. And I said that we try to do whatever, and we'll just meet their requirements. And we kind of wanted to get it started on the April vacation, and then from that point on, it's find out where it's at. It's pretty much we're going to talk to a parent, and they're going to say, can we do anything Saturday at 4 p.m? Can we do anything Monday at 6? So until we get that addressed, because everything is everything we're doing is to address the parents and the times and the availability that their son or daughter has, and kind of go from there. So once I get this out and I'm able to put it in Lakeville up in Lakeville and some of the different things and some of the leagues and so forth like that, then they will, because we're going to go around everybody's league schedules, every league schedule, every team schedule, and work with some of the coaches. Some of the coaches want us to work with a couple of kids, and for example, Norton Little League wants to, and Middleborough Little League wants us to work with just a couple of the kids, and pretty much friends that I know that I've worked with before. We started last summer with some of the different leagues around and started working with some of the young girls, and we just want a base place to be able to call home, and so when we put it on the website and so forth like that, we can feature that. We will be donating money, of course. We will be paying the fees, whatever that, and so forth, and we're all a nonprofit. So every money we get has to go back to the whatever the facility and everything that's going on.
So I guess my point is, and then maybe this is to the rest of the commission here. Are we going to have a spot for them initially that they're going to be there at that certain time? These dates or whatever, because we got a lot of sports going on there. So I don't want to. 1 week you decide you're going to do it a Thursday night. Hey, next week you need 4 nights a week. I think we need a little more structure when we're going to have a spot available.
Well, but we can't until we set up a base. We can okay that it's okay to do this, and when I can start advertising and promoting and so forth like that, then I can come back to you and I'll give you a schedule before we go on that field. You will know, or in the area, you'll know exactly what time we're going to be there, when we're going to do it. We try to give you a week's notice. And it's not much. It's just a start. It's just a couple of kids here and there. We don't even need fields. We just need to. We can go onto the flagpole and just work right there and do some things. And hopefully the 2 new fields over here will be ready, so we can just kind of go off by ourselves.
Well, that might not be available for you. That's what I'm saying. So I just.
I know we're trying to get some money here together and get some contractors, somebody in there to to maybe help you guys out, and so we can get that parking lot done.
Yeah, that's our big problem there.
Right.
I know what you're saying, Joe, and Doug. I hear what you're saying, and I understand the fact that, especially right now, you don't know what your schedule is going to be because you don't know who's going to sign up. And I
Exactly.
understand where you're coming from, Joe. You wanna know that they're going to be at a certain spot, certain time. I think in the beginning here, this is going to be kind of a work in process.
Right.
And I mean, I have three spots in mind that you're not going to interfere with anybody else. One is near the flagpole area, which is the center
Yep.
field of field 6, which is the very small kids. So being in out there is there's plenty of space out there. And the other is the other side of the trees, closer to the little gazebo, is another
Yep.
spot. And again, there's nobody using these spots. And the third is the field down across from the waterfront. Now, I don't know how wet it is, and that's always a big if. Springtime, it can be wet. We've been very dry.
Right.
So it might be a huge field that you could use, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
in that case, if that's a place that's being used, you can leave stuff up, you know?
Yep.
So, I mean, I think it's things we got to check out and see how wet the field is. And see what you think. But, you know, between the three, I mean, I think we could offer some space for you. It doesn't sound like you're going to have 10 and 12 kids at a time. So 2,
No.
3, 4 kids, these spaces are more than adequate.
Super.
As far
Sounds
as
great.
that goes. Now,
Yep.
Joe, do you have any other questions, or can I pass it on to
Pass it on.
Darlene? Do you have any questions for Doug?
Well, I really don't, because I know Doug and I know whatever he's going to do is going to be great and run well and he'll do a good job. So I just think, like Joe said, just double check on availability. I mean, if the kids have tons of games going on, obviously he's not going to bring anybody down there, but I know he's probably talking about off times anyway. So I'm not concerned about it at all. I think anything Doug does is going to be great.
And the spaces
Thanks,
I'm
Darlene.
talking about, they're not going to conflict with any teams.
Right. Which is fine.
I mean, as things go on and we get a schedule better, we could even say, hey, you know, here's an outfield that you can use. I mean, then there's the area outside of field 2, outside the fence, which is a good size area, and the space outside of field 3, where Joe used to run
Right.
T-ball. There's a big area out there, nice grassy area. So there's adequate spots for you to do small team training. So I'm going to continue on here. Tony, do you have any questions for Doug?
No, I think it's a great idea, Doug. You know, I'd just try to get it off the ground here, and then hopefully, you know, we'll get more of a schedule nailed down as it grows. And then I would just like to see, you know, as much advertising so that the kids in our communities, you know, everybody can access it and know about it. And at the high school, even at the lower levels, you know, that we can find a way for kids to be involved.
And as you grow, you know, we can even link you through our website. Nellie can do that. Paula, do you have any questions for Doug?
Sure. I'm pleased to meet you, first of all, and I'll be.
Yeah, I know it's been. Hopefully, we. I don't know if you had any discussions on Clear Pond, but hopefully, we get the chance to meet you down there one of these days.
Yeah, I will be there. I'm near there. I check on it. Been around there lately. Anyway, when you do arts and crafts and carnival type thing, is that geared towards Ted Williams Camp, or are you planning on Clear Pond?
We used to run arts and crafts all this time at Clear Pond, and so what we'll do is that's just kind of an afternoon. So we'll hopefully we'll combine the Clear Pond arts and crafts and give them a chance and also run it over at Ted Williams Camp. And that was, like I said, that's going to be a work in progress also. But hopefully that we can get that, because we don't know if Clear Pond's going to even be able to open. I don't know. We haven't had that discussion yet. But if it can't, then we would want to be able to do that.
So you will be with us at Clear Pond, is that correct? This summer?
Well,
If we open?
No, we would try to. It would be at Clip-On. We do like tie-dye shirts and so forth like that. But it would be my wife has done a lot of the arts and crafts and so forth in the area and so forth, and it would be more of a creativity type thing where they would do more than just make T-shirts and so forth like that. So it'd be more of as far as the arts and crafts is concerned, making things and adding all the arts and crafty type things that go with it.
What do you think about when you're talking about music in the parks?
Paula,
Yeah.
I'm just going to hold you there right now because we've got to move on. And right now we're talking about Mass Effect. I know you want to get into Clear Pond and we'll have a chance, but
I just wanted to know where he was going to do that, but that's okay.
music in the park would be at the park.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, we have had the just to get off the track here, but the Parks Department has had music in the park at Ted Williams Camp. Many years ago, we used to bring in bands and varying types and just played music for free for the townspeople. You'd bring your chair and your cooler and you'd come down and listen to music. I know the past couple of years they've been doing that at the up near the old near the library. So but whatever. That's getting off the track, and we got to get back on the track here. So does anybody else have any questions for Doug?
No. Good luck.
Okay. I'd like to entertain a motion from someone to agree to let Doug move forward with this so that he can advertise Ted Williams Camp as his home base, and that we can then work together to schedule space at the park for him.
Motion
make-
granted.
I'm sorry.
I'll
Motion
make that.
granted.
Second,
We need a motion.
second.
We need a motion from someone.
Tony,
Yes,
did I?
I'm making the motion.
Okay. Please state your motion.
Stating the motion that we're going to give Doug Barry and Mass Effect the ability to use Ted Williams Camp as a home base to begin operations, and we'll continue work with him as it grows on scheduling.
Fantastic. Fantastic motion. Great. Do we have a second?
Second,
Darlene seconds. Okay. All those in favor? Joe?
Aye.
Tony?
All right.
Paula?
Aye.
And Darlene?
aye.
And Scott? Aye. Okay. Congratulations, Doug. You're the
Thank
newest
you.
addition to Ted Williams Camp.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
You're
Thanks, Doug.
Really appreciate it.
And we'll be in touch because I am the scheduler of Ted Williams Camp. So
Okay,
we'll find space for you and we'll work it out.
So we will have,
fantastic.
we will have Nellie send the contract to Doug, and we have to work on a fee for that too as a board. So we'll do that
Yep.
soon. Take it, guys.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you, Doug.
Yep, thank you. Now, do you want me to stay on for Clear Pond or anything?
I don't know how much time we're going to be able to get into Clear Pond. Otherwise, we're going to be until 10
Okay.
o'clock.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I'd like to, but we're not even a third of the way through here, and it's already
Right.
7:30.
Yeah. Because I will talk to you guys later. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Doug.
Yep. Thank you very, very much. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again.
Great.
Yeah. Cool. Bye, Doug.
So,
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Okay. Next thing on the agenda says 22 budget review. Someone got something to present, or I don't have any paperwork on that.
Do we know where it's at this point?
We haven't voted on Clear Pond, and that's the budget holdup, I believe.
then I think we need to address that right now.
The last we left it, I believe, is we had a vote on residents and non-residents so we can move forward with the budget plan.
Okay, I can make a motion then.
Well, before you make what I just want to make sure we're on the same page there and just refresh maybe for the other members, a little overview where we are with that, what the plan is, or.
Could you give us a little background? Because I apologize, I haven't been unable to be here.
And jump in, Paul or Nellie, anytime. Last time we spoke, was discussion with the selectmen of whether or not we're gonna have, we're gonna vote for residents only or non, allow everybody like in the past. The issue came up with money. Some people presented ideas on how much money we would make or not make based on the options we choose. We took a vote last time and it was only 4 people, so it was a split decision. 2 voted in favor of residents only, 2 voted for not allowing just residents only. And there were some arguments that went either way. I don't know if we don't need to rehash those, but the idea was we had to come up with, according for the Board of Selectmen to move forward with our budget, is we were going to say either we're going to go residents or non-residents, because that depends on how much money we could potentially lose as a result of Clear Pond operations. Did I capture all that, Paul and Nellie?
I think so.
Thank you, Joe. I guess my question, unfortunately, I apologize again for not being able to be here, but unfortunately, work takes precedence. Obviously, if we stay non-residents, just correct me if I'm wrong. I just want everybody to be informed. If we stay non-residents the way we have been, we would be charging people accordingly, a resident fee and a non-resident fee. Was that the first assumption?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. The second assumption is if we go to residents only, my question is funding. Was there feeling from town hall that we might get some funding from the town?
Yes, they were, they said that they would have enough money in the budget to cover Clear Pond, whatever that means. And
Okay.
No, they said we would fund it without any subsidization from the town.
Well, that's 2 different statements right there.
yeah, I thought they were gonna cover Clear Pond. They told Mike we didn't have to worry about the budget. We had 118,000, whatever that means, so.
They're saying our budget will cover Clear Pond with no money from the town.
Okay, correct me, but what was it, this $100,000 number? That had nothing to do with the budget. That was capital projects?
Yes, they want to give us funds for capital projects.
Joe, is that how you understood it?
Yeah, yes, they did, but I mean, the point was, when we presented that as a possible loss, and I happened to throw a number of 20 or 30,000, we could lose at Clear Pond.
Yep.
Selectman LaCAM said, well, overall, you'll still be able to cover it with your budget. And again, my concern was, I'd rather not take a $30,000 loss and take money out of something else to cover it. I think we should be able to cover it ourselves.
Well-
But they did say that was, the camera came up with a number of 118,000, I think.
But that's not going into our budget. That's capital items, correct?
That is the.
I
Right,
don't-
go ahead, Nellie.
Sorry, I think our budget, as they were trying to propose it, was 118,000. No, that doesn't sound right, does
It
it?
was more than that, and then he
No.
said 118, so I don't know why it dropped down.
There were 3 capital projects being spoken of: the haunted house demolition, the
50.
tennis courts, and the office.
So how much was projected for the office? 20?
About 20.
And how much was projected for the tennis courts?
28.
Another 30.
No, 25, I think Joe said.
I'll read the numbers for you. It was 50 for the haunted house, 20 for John Pond building, 20 for the office building, and 28 for the tennis. That's the 818,000.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. So
Yeah.
That's right, the John Pond building.
okay, so the 118 has nothing to do with our budget. Those are capital items.
Yeah.
So if we stay the way we are, charging residents, we still have a shortfall at Clear Pond. But if we go to residents only, we're not anticipating any funding from the town.
Correct.
So the comment being that we're going to get the money from someplace else in our budget, I don't know where.
Well, we're going to have to figure it out, and I don't know. We're going to have to cut back to some things at Clear Pond then. unfortunately.
Well, we had some numbers on that, and I think Joe and I had different spreadsheets, and I looked at your 2019 budget, and assuming we went to residents only, first of all, we're going to be probably limited in population as a result of COVID. We may not be able to have 250 people on the beach, is what I'm saying. So
Not.
So if we are still having to block off places on the beach and we have to limit the population, I was recommending that the population be recommended to the taxpayers of Lakeville, and that we would have to cut down. Well, first of all, we would be cutting down on attendance, at least 3, because the town,
We don't have that many attendants now.
well, in 2019, you had 8. And you had 8 lifeguards. So
You can't touch the lifeguards.
let me finish.
You don't have to have as many lifeguards as if you don't have as many people.
You
That
don't.
doesn't make sense.
We can
Yes,
get-
you do.
We can get into that. Just let me finish. All right, if the town is doing the landscaping and cleaning up and doing the trash, we only need attendance for cleaning the bathhouses and that kind of thing. And that was already established. So looking at those numbers, we don't need 8 attendants. It's generous with 5. And if you went to lifeguards and we have a limited amount, you could still have 2 on the beach and 1 on a surfboard, because we're not going to be able to use a raft because of social distancing. So we really don't need that many lifeguards, because we do have enough to cover people. The other thing was the snack bar. We don't need to have the snack bar open because we were putting in money and not getting our money back on it. As a 2019, you remember the snack bar budget, you gave $2,000 and we gave in to 4,500 at the end of the season it came out to. So all those things considered, if we cut the snack bar, we cut at least 1 lifeguard or 2 lifeguards, and we cut 3 attendants, we would be saving $16,400, almost $500. And that's also for coverage on the weekends. And when we talk about the weekends and who's going to empty the trash, we just rehired Linda, right?
No, we did not yet.
I thought we voted on it.
He wasn't hired.
HR was bringing it to the Board of Selectmen and nothing has been decided that I've
Okay.
heard of.
But we still have a weekend part-timer, because Nellie pointed out that the highway department doesn't pick up trash at 6 o'clock. But even so, you can tie off the bags and put a cover on the barrels. That's until the attendants get in, even if it's the next morning, and put it in the trash container, but the town will take care of it. And that's saving us not only trash services, but it's saving us attendance, and it can be done. And that's my presentation, and Joe has his side of the story. Go ahead, Joe.
I'm just going to throw something out there. There may have been 8 attendants, but none of them work more than 20 hours a week. They don't work full time.
Right. And what are we going to do with 8 attendants when the town is taking care of everything?
Two of those didn't even work at the park. They
Where'd they
were
work?
working at Ted Williams Camp and the other parks. And you need someone to clean the bathroom and the trash. There was someone collecting money at the gate and someone running the snack bar. So you've
Okay,
got
so-
3 people on, but that doesn't mean you have 8 people working every day.
I understand, but we're not going to open the snack bar. And as far as the gate, I understand, but all the attendants have to do is take care of the bathroom.
Who voted to not have the snack bar?
We didn't vote on anything yet.
Okay.
I'm presenting how I feel we can cut down on costs to save money at Clear Pond. So we don't have to, have some big loss. And also the way they're cleaning up the park, I'm hearing great things from the residents that they want to go back there. And I guess there was some issues with the park not being so clean or updated, as I understand. So that's all I can tell you. And I'm throwing it out there. Joe, go ahead.
All right, I'll go over what I did. But I was looking at the numbers from 2019. I think that was a good year we had at the park. Resident passes, we had about $8,000. Non-resident, we had about a little shy of 6,000. So my point is, if you take off non-residents, okay, maybe you'll break even. You'll get an increase of resident passes for that 13,000 for the year. But the gate passes, we got 25,500 in the gates. A lot of that, I believe, could be non-residents because they don't buy passes a lot. You stand to lose an awful lot of money if you make it just not Lakeville residents only. I'm guessing you lose money there for sure, and you probably lose money in the passes and the concession. If you don't do that, you're probably in the hole about 30,000. My estimates in the park if you just go residents only. Secondly, to Scott's point, something I've said in the past, you can't cut back on safety. You need lifeguards. God forbid something happens and they found out we cut back on a lifeguard, we'll get hung. I think you need, if the huge draw for that park are two things: the lifeguard, the raft. Ask anybody who worked there. The raft and then the concession stand. You cut back on the raft, people aren't going to go. There's another.
I'm sorry, I disagree with that. And
we determined, if you don't mind, Tony. I've talked to some directors who worked there before. People come to the gate. Is the raft open? Nope. See you later. I'm leaving. They don't go there. So it's a big draw. So I don't want to cut back on the raft. Concession, we do make money on the concession. We can make more if it's managed a little bit better, but we have made money on it. In my opinion, you spend $5,000, you should get 10,000 profit easily on the concession. So if you cut all those things, you're gonna park, my opinion, not many people are gonna go to, and it's gonna be a big loss for the town, for the park commission. So my recommendation is keep it open to everybody. If you want to manage it a little bit better, it maybe because people say, oh, they got rowdy on the weekends, maybe don't allow those people to come in. Those $2,000 we got, we can forego that. But I don't think we want to impact the people who enjoy going there. It might be not from Lakeville for whatever reason. I don't see it. I said I think we should keep it open for all people to go there and maybe manage it a little bit better to make it a better place for everybody to go to. So that's my spiel. Darlene.
I have a question. Okay, how much is a resident pass go for? What does a resident pass cost?
$80.
80. 80, and a non-resident pass?
130.
Okay, and I'm just going to give my opinion just real quick. I think for this year, the year we're in right now, with all the restrictions, I think we should go to strictly residents for 2020. The 2021 shit, 2021. Whoops, sorry, Nell. 2021. I think we're going to be limited to how many people we can put in the park, and I don't want to turn away residents because too many non-residents came in. Just my opinion. And maybe we should go for $100 for residents. Just change the fee to $100 resident pass, and you'll make up a little bit of the difference.
Yep.
And as far as the ramp goes, whatever, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, keep it open. Again, I agree with Joe completely. You can't cut back on the lifeguards. You've got to have a couple on all the time. I know that. As far as the concession stand goes, there's something wrong if a concession stand loses money. There's something desperately wrong. Somebody's not doing something right. So it's time to fix that, in my opinion. That's all I got.
Do you think we should leave it open for the summer?
If it's managed well.
Yes. If it's going to make money, I don't have a problem with that.
But you're dealing with cash.
It's going to lose money.
Then we need to go to cardless. We need to go to a cardless system like Cricket or Square.
Cards only, no cash. Maybe that would keep people more honest.
We don't have a machine.
Well, it's easy to get a little sliding machine. I mean, the banks will give away.
That works to get a card or some type of machine to cut down on the cash. Our last town administrator was working to do that. So that is something that we were working towards. And then and then COVID hit. So
Well,
everything,
not to be a jerk, but if you wanted to get an ice cream cone at Peaceful Meadows this past year, you had to use a card for $3 to get an ice cream cone. They weren't taking cash. It's just the way it is. I mean, I just think for everybody, to keep everybody honest, use a card.
well, and that was the hopes for last year,
Well,
was
let's
to
do
use
this
the card.
It's
but
not
then-
brain surgery. It's going to be 2 minutes of like, call the bank, get a machine, done.
Okay, we just,
Thank you.
we got to talk one at a time because we're talking over each other. Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. No, I'm just, Zoom meetings are not fun.
No.
But
Was it
anyhow.
Tony?
I think Nellie has her hand up. Go ahead,
I
Nellie.
just wanted to add, well, the Square or whatever would have you, whatever bank has, our issue at Clear Pond would be, we have no internet, no wireless. So that would have to get set up first for us to be able to work off of the system. And
Gotcha.
I don't know what that would constitute in terms of, getting wired and construction or anything to that extent.
Talk to the neighbors.
Okay.
And I mentioned something else, Scott.
Sure thing, Paula. Go ahead.
In terms of money, the town has something like a Unibank or some kind of a banking system. The other way to cut down on using cash is for the residents or who's ever buying a residence pass and a guest pass. You can do it through the town, through the town bank. That's not a problem. I spoke to Mr. LaCAM. He said that's what they have. In other words, we don't have to collect money at the gate, but these people can buy their passes online and their guest passes. And that's another thing, we might be able to go up on the price of guest passes, certainly, as well as passes for the season.
Just to bring Darlene and Tony up to speed on that, that was one of the options that we had talked about, was that if we did go to a town only, like it used to be years ago, you could bring a guest with you, but they had to come with you.
Right.
They
I
had
agree with that.
your car.
100%. 100%.
All right. Just hold on. They had to come in your car because we had a police officer at the gate. And if you didn't have a sticker on your bumper, you couldn't get in, or a sticker on your bicycle, you couldn't get in, period. Didn't matter who you were. Didn't matter if you were following the car in front of you. You had to come in with them. So what we were talking about was, if we did go to the resident, was to develop some type of a resident pass for guests, whether or not you had to be present. It's your card. You're responsible for these people. If they act up, then you could lose your card.
Sure. Makes sense.
I'm just to give you yep, I see you, darling. Just a second, just to give you some update on that. There was talk about that in order to try and generate some extra funds that way. So that's what Paula was talking about when she was talking about the guest pass. Go ahead, Darlene.
Why wouldn't it be a sticker just like the dump or the landfill? Sorry.
Well,
A sticker on the car.
that was what they used to do, but they used to have someone sitting at the gate from 10 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night,
Right.
watching you drive in. And if you didn't have a sticker, you couldn't come in.
Correct.
So someone was getting paid to sit there, and it was a police officer. Okay.
Yeah.
Why-
that's-
Why
Police officer. So
Why couldn't be just a grunt, a kid that you give us
Well,
something?
the attendants do that now.
Now we're talking about, I got you, Tony, just a second. Now we're talking about letting people go, and now you're talking about adding someone. I'm just throwing devil's advocate out here.
No, you're not adding somebody.
Sure you are.
You're cutting down on 8 people. I'm just saying, you're still gonna cover the gate and somebody's gonna take care of the bathrooms.
Paula, there
What?
weren't 8 people working at Clear Pond. Okay, I'm trying to tell you that. I know that's what the numbers were, but they weren't working at Clear Pond. We had 2 people that didn't work there at all. Okay, so there were only 6. They were part-timers, not working more than 20 hours a week.
Okay, so if 2 people were working somewhere else 20 hours a week, and I assume that the town has taken over those duties now, So will we still need 2 people working somewhere else?
Well, they want us to take them and pay for them out of our budget. They want to hire 2 kids full-time under Franklin, but we have to pay for it.
When
So-
did that happen?
That's been Rich has been talking about that for. So let me get back. I know Tony had his hand up and he's waiting patiently, and I appreciate that. So go ahead, Tony.
Okay, so I like what you're saying. I know that people, we were discussing, I'm for the residents only thing. I'm for the guest as well, which I would like to see. I don't think that it's manageable to have somebody checking the cars. When you go up to the park and you're about to walk in, the person, you have a kid there says, "Can I see your resident pass?" The resident shows their pass. Then you are allowed. I don't really see a problem with 2 or 3 guests, but they have to pay right then. Okay. And so if I want to bring my friend John and my friend Tom, well, then they have to pay right then as they're entering. Those are the guests. Now, as far as I don't think that we need to be checking as they're coming in the gate. They can just go park. If there's parking space there, that's fine. I'm a resident. Great. I go up to the thing. I bought my resident pass, which I think $100 is a good price, and gain a little bit back from the 80 because we're losing the non-residents. So increase that a little bit. But that might make me a little bit more, want to bring one of my friends down, and then the park is going to gain some revenue that way. And I really think that that's how we need to present it to the townspeople as well, to say,
Would you agree to go up on the guest pass?
what was the guest pass at now?
$4 or something?
I would
We
think,
didn't have a guest pass. We only had our gate fee, which was $6 for an adult and $4 for children.
Okay.
well, I'm introducing a guest pass then, so that
Okay.
if a resident wants to bring their friend, it is an additional $5.
Okay. Well, as far as monetary amounts and guest passes, we're not going to make those decisions right now.
Okay.
I'm just saying, we're either gonna vote to stay with the way it is, or we're gonna vote to change and have residents only. And if we do that, then we're gonna have to come up with some type of.
Well, with that condition, I
absolutely.
would be for residents only, but I'm not going to just say, you're a resident, you can't have your mom come, and because she lives in Middleborough or something.
Well,
No,
people
I-
had guest passes, right, Scott, in the past?
Well, they didn't have guest passes, Paula.
No,
You were an out-of-town person. You could come in. You just had to pay a fee.
that's
They
not
weren't
what I'm
considered
talking about.
guest pass. If we go to residents only, now we're going to have to devise some type of plan, whether it's a guest pass or Paula who can only have 2 people in a day and they check her name off when they go. We'll have to figure out something else.
I don't have a problem with, again, the number of guests that a resident wants to bring, but the resident themselves has to be there.
Absolutely.
And that's my point, is it's a
And
resident pass. Without the resident, there's no guest.
Correct.
That's my
I agree
point.
with you 100%. I agree with 100%. So, all right, as everyone had a chance to speak their mind, I know Joe wants to add something here, so I'm going to let him go ahead.
Yeah, just one quick, I know we don't want to talk money, but I think Nellie mentioned last meeting that once we tried to go up on resident passes from 80 to 100, and townspeople balked at it, and this was, Nellie, why don't you say something on that?
When resident passes were $100 per pass, we only gathered about 50, average 55 resident passes. But as soon as we decreased the price to 80, it went up to about 97. So it kind of doubled when we decreased the price of resident passes.
Nellie, can I ask you, how long ago was that?
We only increased
2
in
years ago?
2018,
Yeah, 2 years,
so it was before that.
2 seasons ago.
So
Yeah.
Before 2018.
let's think about the times then too. I know Clear Pond is open at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I would like to see it move to a little bit earlier in the morning. For people with young kids usually typically nap around between 1 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So to have something open at 10 o'clock in the morning limits the time where younger kids can come. So the earlier you open the park, the more time that families can come and enjoy the park until it's about that midday time when they're going to be moving out. So if I could come at 9 o'clock or 8:30, then great. That gives me some more time in that beginning
We're
part of
not
the
there
day.
yet.
That's more hours per person has to work then, so expenses gonna go up. If you open longer, you gotta pay more money to the
I
expense.
think it was 10 to 6 to be an 8-hour day. So if we wanted to open early, we should also adjust closing early to keep it for an 8-hour day. And I think that's the only reason it was 10 to 6.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be 10 to 8, but that was a different time.
Mm-hmm.
These are things we're going to have to work out. We're not going to answer these questions today, but we've got to come to a starting point. And I think we've got to, unless someone has something new to add, I think we need to make a decision whether we're going to go with townspeople or status quo and allow anyone to come in like we have.
Yeah, I just want to make one comment, Chairman Holmes, if I can. We only have 10 weeks before the opening day usually is in June. So whatever we decide to do, it's a lot of work within 10 weeks to get it ready and get the townspeople on board or whatever way we go for that June 20-some. I think open June 20th rings a bell, roughly going to be open. So just be careful. We commit to 10 weeks worth of work. Can we get it done in time? That's all.
We usually open the weekend, depending on when the kids get out of school. It's either the weekend they get out or the weekend before, and it's just for the weekend. And then once they're out of school, we open for the season.
Should be the week before 4th of July, or about June 30th.
Kids get out of school June 16th this year. So if we wanted to do that, it would be a June 19th opening. But if we wanted to wait another week, it would be a June 26th opening.
I think the 26th is reasonable.
Well, again, these are things we're going to decide after this meeting. I mean, we're not going to decide that now. I think we need to make a motion one way or the other and take a vote and move forward with this.
All right, I'd like to make a motion.
Go ahead, Tony.
So I'd like to make a motion that Clear Pond Park is residents only, that includes guests. That's it.
Okay.
I
Second.
second the motion.
Okay.
Who was that? Paula?
I second the motion.
Okay. I just didn't know who it was. That's
Both
all.
of us.
I'm clarifying for Nellie's minutes. Okay, so we have a second. Do we have any further discussion before we vote? Joe?
Just which way we going? What's it saying? Vote is for what?
The current motion on the floor is to open Clear Pond with residents only and guests. And we'll determine that as we move forward here.
That they are residents, that the guests are guests of residents.
Yeah, they come with them.
Yep, they have to be, the resident must be in attendance.
Right.
I have one more thing.
Go ahead.
All right. So the industry I'm in, you all know I'm in the wedding industry, right? So we're watching the numbers, and you can only have certain amount of people at venues, at functions. So I think the numbers are going to be down. And I think another reason, especially this year, to go residents only is so that you don't have to turn away Lakeville residents. I think that could potentially be a problem if the numbers that the governor says, okay, given your square footage, however much space you have, you're only allowed to have 125 people in or 150 people in the pond. And that might be in June, but in July, it might go to 175. And then maybe in August, it's 200. So I think that's another reason to limit us to residents only 2021, and we can revisit it again,
I agree.
Just to add to that, Joe and I before last season, tried to estimate what we could get in there for people based on the 12-foot squares that they were talking about. Joe, do you remember what we kind of maxed it out at? Like 160?
150 rings a bell.
150?
Hey, guys, I work in a school. We're allowed to have 25 kids in a classroom 3 feet apart now.
I know, Tony, but we went by the Board of Health and he said a 12-foot square with walkways. Okay. I'm just stating what we came up with last year. I'm not saying that's hard and fast. The rules change daily. Change daily.
I know. Well, I'm telling you that the rules are different now because I work in a school and I know.
I understand that. I know they're different. I just was.
Exactly.
They're different for the beach.
Yes.
But,
Anyhow,
and don't forget, Emmett's getting vaccinated. By June, July, it might be open for everybody. So
That's right.
We're not going backwards, we're going forward. So
That's right.
go ahead with the vote, Scott.
Okay, so the motion on the floor is to go to residents only. How do you vote? Tony?
A.
Tony's an A. Paula?
Yay.
Affirmative. Darlene?
Yes.
Yes,
Affirmative.
yes.
Joe?
Nay, no.
And Scott's affirmative. So it carries 4-1. So that'll be the next challenge for Paula and Tony to, the first thing we have to do is we have to talk with the Board of Health and find out what our limits are now and move forward with that. And the second thing that has to be done right away is we have to hire a director. I know Mr. Berry has been our director, but it's still a situation where the town has to hire annually. Those are seasonal jobs. And right on those coattails, we need to put out and hire lifeguards. First of all, yes, I see you, Nellie. And secondly is to determine how many maintenance crew. I'm sorry, I take that back.
Attendance.
Attendance, I take it back. Attendance
Mhm.
that we can afford. Okay. Go ahead, Nellie, you had your hand up.
Yes, I just wanted to move forward with at least posting the director position and the lifeguard positions. We have those from last year.
Okay, those haven't changed.
Nothing's changed in those two positions. The
Okay.
attendant's the only one that's gonna change. So those two positions actually have already been approved for seasonal status. They're all set.
All right.
We would just need to post them. If we can do that
All right.
ASAP,
Thank you.
it would be beneficial,
I'm
yeah.
going to cut you right there. Thank you. I'd like to make a motion that we post the director's job and the lifeguards tomorrow if possible.
I second the motion.
Okay, there's a second. Joe, how do you feel?
Yes.
Okay, Tony,
Yes.
Darlene,
Yes,
Paula?
Yes.
Okay, it's 100%. I vote yes also. Well, I
Great,
made the
then-
motion, so.
Yeah. We'll just need to redo the attendant position.
Yep.
To decrease it for whatever the highway is taking on.
Right.
And then we can go forward with that one. But that one's gonna take a little bit longer because we're gonna change it so much. I think the Board of Selectmen have to approve.
Right. Oh, I thought they were already, that was already in the works. No? Okay. All right. So if you could draft something the next day you work.
Yep.
So that we can get that, even if you get it to Paula and Tony and we get this moving forward. Because
Absolutely.
Paul, we should have already done this. But anyhow, that's needless to say. So let's move forward with that. We'll get those job postings out and move forward. Okay. Oh, we're way behind.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Is there anything more we have to view with the budget or I don't know. I haven't been here. I apologize, but
I think they were waiting for our answer on resident, non-resident, and I don't know.
okay,
Oh,
well, that's
that's-
gonna affect the numbers that we project as far as income and expenses.
Yeah, we have to take a look at it, Scott. The last meeting we had, I know, Selectman LaCamera had some numbers. It didn't make any sense to me I didn't know where he got them from, so maybe we have to look at what we presented and just give it a once over, because I know we had a couple of budgets. One was 75% funding, 50% and all that. So I think we have to take a look at that and go back to the selectmen on that one.
Okay, all right. So the numbers themselves didn't change too much from that. It was just whether or not what percentage we were looking for.
Again, what I project as a loss, they didn't project as a loss. I just think we have to take a look at the numbers and pass it by them again, knowing what we have to get a ballpark what we think is going to be our expenses and revenue at Clear Pond now, and then put that into the budget and see if it makes sense with Selectman LaCamera threw up there. If it does, maybe we can go with it. But I think we have to take a look at it based on what we come up with. Now that we know we're going to go residents only, and see if how we cover our budget. Once again, it looks like it could be a loss, but maybe not. But that will affect everything else we want to do.
Okay, just quickly, Nellie, do we have the capability of realizing, as far as the walk-ins, what was townspeople and non-townspeople, or we don't know that?
No, we don't track that. It was only
Right.
adults versus children.
So we'll have to reach out to Mr. Berry and get a percentage based on his assumptions. Well, that's how we're gonna have to estimate the income. Okay, I'll try to do it. I don't know, the next 8 days, I will have limited time, but
You
if
gave
it
it extra
wasn't for a
month,
computer,
Scott.
if it wasn't for a computer crash today, I wouldn't be here now. Okay, Loon Pond Lodge updates, management company updates. Did they sign a contract between the two?
Yes,
So we're on board with Boston Tavern?
Yes.
Okay. Any other general updates? Paula, do you have anything as far as the lodge?
no, only that Boston Tavern is going to be taking care of the grounds, which is a big help. They'll be doing some planting. They will have extra events and all of that. They're going to be taking over the maintenance, the cleaning, the outside. They're going to be sprucing it up. And that's my understanding from the selectmen. And
They're gonna take care of the outside of the building too?
yes,
The grass and the,
now I don't know if the town is going to take care of the grass, but I know they're definitely going to make some improvements around the area in terms of curb appeal.
okay. All right. If nothing else, anybody, Joe, you have anything to add?
Well, yeah, I guess we have to determine about the outside grounds. I know we had our own guy, Bob, doing the hand mowing, but if they're gonna take care of it, or is highway gonna take care of it, we should know that.
Yeah, we don't know that part, I don't think.
I can ask him. I'm going to be meeting with him this week, Tim from Boston Tavern, just to give some access to other items and just review some stuff. So I can ask him.
Oh,
Okay.
that'd be great.
Ted Williams camp updates, basketball hoops, tennis courts, general updates. I know Mike's not here. Did he leave
There was an
anything?
issue about putting the basketball nets up because they wouldn't be wearing masks if they put the nets up. But I have to mention that I was in Middleborough, and over at their basketball courts, they were open and the kids were playing basketball and the nets were up. And so I don't know how they get away with it, and we can't do it.
Well, it's very simple. I asked the Board of Health and he said no.
Okay, that's the answer. All right.
Here's the problem, Paula. Just because Middleborough's doing it doesn't mean it's right.
Okay.
So in effect, they're in violation.
Okay. I just happened to mention, see it, and I'm like, how did that
Well,
happen?
I asked him and he sent me an email and I forwarded it to the board.
Okay.
He said, unless you can guarantee me that someone's going to be there and tell them they have to wear a mask, I would advise against putting up the hoops. I said, okay,
Okay.
I don't want Joe getting yelled at because the hoops are up.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I mean, what about rest of the sports? Like if Doug's gonna have people, doing close contact with like training and stuff, do they have to wear masks? Is that what we?
Yes.
Yep.
So we have to come up with our own plan again for baseball and all that stuff, talking about the masks or not masks and all that stuff, correct?
They still have to follow protocols.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've already got excuse me, Paula.
Yeah.
We've already got complaints because baseball was out there playing without masks on. So I informed Nellie as soon as I was told this, that she needs to contact every group that uses the park and tell them when they're there, they have to use a mask. End of story.
I thought we allowed the ball players, if as long as you don't have like X amount of people at the fields. I didn't think we had last year have ball players wearing masks the whole time. We didn't do that last year.
They were supposed to.
I think it was part of the regs that they were supposed to follow, not our personal ones, but part of the state ones.
Because I don't think we had the baseball players or softball players wearing masks. The people on the stands had to and have social distancing in the dugouts and stuff, but I didn't think we had required masks on the players.
I don't know. They make the kids playing basketball wearing masks, and the football players are wearing masks.
Is that because in the other sports, they're 6 feet apart?
No.
Okay.
Scott?
Yep. Yes,
Okay.
Colleen, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, I had my hand up, but you didn't see it, and I just want to go back to Boston Tavern real quick.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yep.
They're not going to mow the lawn. They want to beautify the place. They're going to put flowers out by the arch because they want to sell weddings. They're going to put flowers outside because they want to sell functions, because they're going to make a lot of money if they sell functions. They're going to have the bar. They're going to have the food. They're going to have
Yeah.
all of that stuff. So they are going to beautify the place, yes, but for themselves. So this isn't for the town. This is for them. With that said, no, Joe, they're not going to mow the lawn. Okay, no. The town's still going to be responsible for mowing the lawn. I've talked to Richie. I've tried to do a little recon on this. I wasn't too crazy about your decision to hire a restaurant to run the place, but it's too late now. The contract's been signed. Just my opinion. Hence the reason why I decided to kind of get involved here. So I'm just giving an answer to the question. No, they're not going to mow the lawn.
Yeah, I think we assume that. My opinion was, I think we should make sure we have Franklin have his guys mow around the lodge. Be mindful of the sprinkler heads. I know we were mowing it by hand, but I'd push that back on the highway department altogether. The maintenance
Right.
of the outside, the lawns, that is, and not have our own guy hand mow it.
Right. Okay. I just wanted to make sure everybody understood that they're just coming in to beautify the place, but it's for their purse, not ours. Done.
Okay, thank you, Darlene.
Okay.
No, we talked about the basketball hoops, tennis courts. Is there something?
Yes, Nellie, probably we got 2 letters from the pickleball people regarding our letter we sent to them. Nellie, I don't know if you want to go over them, but I think we still have to keep an eye on that. We have to make sure we're on board with our latest decision on that there.
Which was what? Which was what, Joe? What was the latest decision?
We sent the letter to the pickleball folks saying they were not going to be given access to the courts unless they honored their agreement of repainting the courts the way they should have been the last 3-4 years. We told them either paint them back like they should have been, or we're not going to have a contract to allow them to play pickleball. Again, they sent some emails to us saying that now they're going to have to disband and it's all our fault and all that. So I don't want to get into the details, but that issue is still out there. They have not been painted back that I know at this time.
So we're asking them to paint court 1 back to tennis, and court 2 to be a multi-use court. Okay.
Yes.
I just was making sure that that's the same thing that we had talked about before, and
Yep.
it appears it is.
Yep.
Nellie, did you get a response?
From the Lakeville pickleball group, yes, they said that they'd be disbanding.
Okay.
But we also did get correspondence from someone in the group who was upset that the park commission was making the group do this manual work, and kind of said that we forced the disbandment, but I corrected that and stated we did not. We just asked them to please correct this error before any approval for court time would be given.
Okay. All right. Moving
So you're
forward,
saying there's not going to be pickleball anymore?
Oh, they're
As
still
far as
playing.
the last communication, they are not going to be playing.
They're still playing. They were playing today.
As a group?
There were people playing pickleball. I don't know who it was, Paula. I drove through and there were people playing pickleball. Sports updates, scheduling. How are we doing on the scheduling?
Well, that all changes now.
I know, but pretty much the scheduling should have been in effect by now.
No, there's no contracts yet. No, not much schedules came in.
Okay.
I did get a call from Ken, Mr. Lally, wants to use the fields at Thursday nights and Sunday mornings. I told him it was all right. We're getting him a contract, but he's going to start using that field 4, I believe, just for practices a couple nights before the season starts. Then they'll play again in July.
Okay.
But we have to get back to him for sure with an agreement, whatever, for that there.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Well, we got to work on the scheduling. All right. Portable restroom requirements. Is that you, Joe?
No, I think I put that on there just to overview that the teams will have to be renting their own portable restrooms
Oh, okay.
again.
Yes. And we need to stress to them to put them, not to put them into the middle of the fields, to put them on the edge of the fields because when that heavy truck goes in and out every week, it's creating ruts and they're driving over the irrigation, which is only going to lead to problems that we're going to have to pay for to fix. And I don't think it's that bad to have them walk 100 feet, instead of putting the porta-johns where they put them. I just think it's a small thing to ask. FLSC request?
Yes, the Freetown Lakeville Soccer Club had a request. Their season's back up and running this year. Last year they had to cancel both seasons due to COVID. So the request from the group is they would like to have a credit from their payment in 2020 to apply to their payment for 2021, since they did not play.
Too bad. Tell them thank you very much for the donation. No, I'm only kidding. They paid for the spring last year?
They did, and it was $4,140. So it was no small amount of change.
Well, the soccer club is a good guest down there. Unless someone has another reason not to, I'd like to make a motion to credit them for the spring payment. Obviously, we'll have some discussion here. Joe, do you have anything you want to say?
Nope.
No? Okay. Tony?
No, credit.
Okay. Paula?
Nope, credit.
Darlene?
On mute.
You're on mute.
Sorry, I
There you
can't
go.
sit still. I can't sit still. I'm sorry. I believe they should get a credit, and yes, I second that motion if you
Okay.
need a
So
second.
I'm making an official motion to credit the soccer club the money they paid last year for this year.
Gets credited. Yeah, second.
Second,
Yes.
thank you.
You're welcome.
All those in favor? Joe, Kasha,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
Paula,
Aye.
Darlene,
Aye.
Scott, aye, unanimous. Thank you. Thank you. Horseshoe pit agreement. What's that about, Nellie?
Yeah, that's what I put up there.
Okay.
The last 2 meetings ago, we talked about we had the horseshoe folks in town in the meeting there. And I think the question came up is they locked the horseshoe pits. And my question, why do they lock them up? There's 3 of them unlocked, but why are the rest of them locked up when it is a park for the town? And someone mentioned, Mike might have mentioned that, we had an agreement of many years ago that's the case would be. I was asking to see the agreement. I don't think they should be locked up. It's a public park. Why are we locking up the horseshoe pits? So I just want a clarification on that.
Okay, I'm gonna do the best I can. I wasn't on the board when they made this agreement, but to the best of my recollection, this is what went down. The agreement was that they built all the pits. They paid for all the pits to be completed. They would maintain all the pits. The agreement was that they were able to section off, and it should be 4 pits, not 3. It's supposed to be 4 pits, are open to the town all the time and supplied with horseshoes. I was there the other day and I did see horseshoes on the pits. Now, that was the agreement years ago, Joe. They built the whole thing, they paid for it, and that they were going to keep certain pits for the leagues, and that 4 pits would be open for townspeople to be used at any time. They would maintain them all of them. It's just that they would segregate some of them to be used for league play only. That's my best recollection of it.
All right. There's only 3 pits open right now for the public. They owe us a 4th one then.
Well, then they got to move the fence because they've extended. They've got to move the fence back.
Yeah. And I
Deb
guess-
mentioned that the last time she was at a meeting that was getting corrected.
Okay.
The only comment I want to make, again, maybe we're stuck in an agreement like this, but don't forget the soccer folks have donated a lot of money for irrigation and all that, and we don't lock everybody else off the fields either. I just have a concern that we lock up stuff at a public park when it should be allowed for everybody to be used. I know that the buildings, the sheds they have, that's fine. They lock them up, no problem. But outside pits like that, they're only gonna use them for, I think, 16 weeks out of the year. What if another group wants to come in and have a league there? We don't allow them to? I just throw that out there. I just, think maybe we should look at them locking them up, so no one else can use them. That's all.
Well, that's for the board to decide, I'm just telling you, to the best of my recollection, what happened, when they built them. We could ask some of the former commissioners who were on the board at the time, and I'm sure it's going to be a similar story. May not be exactly the same, but it's going to be similar to what I've thrown out there. But people, you have different selectmen come in and things change. We have different board members and things change. It's up to this board how they want to go with that. Clear Pond Park updates. Well, we've now voted to go residents only. So are there any updates other than that tonight without going into all kinds of detail? Paula, we don't have time. It's already.
I'm not going to give you details, but I'm going to tell you that we have an issue. There's a red shed. The roof is rotted. Okay. And the paint is peeling off it. There's work that's got to be done. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
End of story.
Okay. Accepted. That roof's been like that for years, and the paint's been peeling for years, just to let you know.
And to let you know that I intend to have it fixed.
Great. Fantastic. Did someone have their hand up? Nellie?
I did. I had something else for Ted Williams Camp. I'm sorry.
To let you know. Go ahead.
And to let you know that I intend to have it fixed.
Oh. Getting echoes from the past.
Go ahead, Nellie.
Just a quick thing. So Jamie from the volleyball group had reached out. They would still like to extend the water to the volleyball area, even though Horseshoe's extension seems to be back and forth. As far as we know, it's not going on for Horseshoes, but Jamie would like to continue. Now, it was in June 2019 that the board voted to allow volleyball to go ahead and do that at their own cost. They ended up not doing it. Something came up. They just couldn't get to it. And now they're trying to return back to that project. So I want to make sure that it's still okay, that I can give Jamie the yes, just go ahead with that project.
No, they can't just go ahead. They can't just go ahead. They have to bring the plan, a written plan, to the board, and it has to be okayed by the board, and I think it should be okayed by Franklin. That's my personal feeling.
So
but they need to bring us a plan, written plan. I don't care if it's drawn on a napkin, but they need to show us what their plan is so that we can then look at it and decide if it's what this board wants to okay. And then I think we should ask Franklin to look at it and make sure it looks okay. As far as, what type of piping they're going to use, how they're going to cover it, how deep they're going to go, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's my feeling on it. But I think at a bare minimum, they have to bring us a plan, just like we requested Horseshoes to do. We requested Horseshoes to bring a plan. They brought a plan. If volleyball is going to do it, then they've got to bring us a plan. Anything else?
Okay, so that does everybody agree? I'll let Jamie know we need a written plan so we can get it approved.
A written diagram.
A written diagram, and highway has to approve it as well.
And what the particulars are for the piping and how they're
piping, how far down.
Yep.
All right. My second question was going to be, are we going to get, because the teams are going to be supplying their own portable restrooms for their teams, are we able to use COVID funds to get a couple extra?
Like we did last year? Funds?
Are
there COVID funds available?
I don't know. Do you want me to reach out?
Can you please?
Yeah. I'll reach out to Tracy and see who I need to talk to see if we have some.
I believe Leah is still our liaison. I don't know with the new selectmen if they've reorganized there.
That's true.
But, you could find out who our liaison is, and they would know if there's funds.
If there are COVID funds, should I just tell them to go ahead and do it?
Well, you got to get the okay for us to expend those COVID funds, because we don't have it in our budget to be paying $150 a week for porta johns.
Right.
And then I think if everybody's going to have them, maybe we should only supply one.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just saying, if one for general use.
Can you explain what's the difference between having a porta john and a regular bathroom?
Okay.
From the Board of Health's perspective.
I'll try to give you at least the way I understand it. Even though the porta john is probably not as clean, it's one person at a time in a porta john, where the bathrooms, you could have 3 or 4 people in the bathroom at the same time, breathing the same air.
So why don't we just put a sign on the bathroom that says only one
Signs
person
don't
allowed?
work.
Okay.
7, 8, 9-year-old Johnny and Susie run into the bathroom. They're not looking at a sign. They're not stopping. And mom and dad are over at the soccer field or the baseball field, and they're not watching them. That's the story. That's the way it is.
Okay.
I mean, it's not the way it should be, but that's the way it is. We have problems with little Johnny and Susie trashing the bathrooms. At least 2 or 3 times a spring, we have to pay the plumber to come in and unplug the toilets because they've jammed them up with toilet paper and anything else they could find. So it's an ongoing problem because they're not supervised. They just say, go ahead, go to the bathroom. I'm right here. And things happen. Unfortunately, things happen. But that was how it was explained to me by the Board of Health, that you've got multiple people in the bathroom and they're all breathing the same air, and that's the problem. Versus the porta john. And I said, yeah, but the porta john's dirty. He goes, that's the reasoning.
Okay. But do we know that that's going to still be the case with upcoming protocols when, they're saying 3 feet?
Well, I was asked by soccer if they were going to be open for this weekend. And I asked Board of Health, and he said, I would not open them. I would have everybody use porta johns until we get further in this process. And maybe in a month we can take away the porta johns. It would be great. And go back to the bathrooms. And like Joe says, as more people get vaccinated, we'll be in a better situation, hopefully. But that's the best explanation I can give you as for their reasoning.
Okay.
Not necessarily do I agree with it, but okay, Paula gave us a brief on Clear Pond Park. I'm sure there'll be more to come as we move along. John Pond Park updates.
Yes, we had some on there for last time for the tournament contract review and approval. I've got a group. I know we talked last time. We approved it. They're going to be having a weekend in July, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday tournament. I already gave them a fee. We talked about it. We said it's okay. So I'll have them do the contract and we'll get it signed off. But we already got a pre-approval from the board on the amount we charge them. So I'll send that to Nellie on that one there.
The only issue I would have with the group coming in is the parking on the street.
Yeah, and we addressed that with them, and we'll work through that with them.
Awesome.
We did a pretty good job in the past with them, and they're well aware of that there.
Okay.
I'll take care of that with them. I got a request here, just to let you know, where the old pitching batting cage was before, where the old posts were bent and all that. Last year, I know we talked, the Free Lake softball folks raised money for a new batting cage they're going to put in there. Okay? They pulled the post. They're doing all this work on their own. They pulled the posts out. They dragged the ground there. They're going to put a fenced-in area and a nice little batting cage there. What they did ask from us is if we would buy the stone dust. It was 25 yards of it. I told them I passed it by the boards. I got a quote from Franklin. It's $500 for the 25 yards of stone dust to put in there. So I'll make a motion in a minute or so. But the idea is they're making a lot of improvements down the park. The Free Lake soccer folks. The good news is last year they had about 65 kids participating. This year they've got about 130 signed up already. So there's a big influx of kids going to be coming in there, which is great for the park and all. And then they're doing all these improvements, which is pretty nice. So I would ask the board if they consider this, but I'd like to make a motion that we will buy some stone dust not to exceed $500 for the use of that batting cage area for John Pond.
Second,
First of all, do they need permission to put in a batting cage from the building inspector?
No. There was one there already. This is just redoing what was there.
There was one there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so it's not necessary to get any permit,
No.
okay?
No, any further discussion? Okay, we've got a motion and a second on the floor to purchase stone dust, which we normally do anyhow every couple of years, to be used on the field and wherever's needed down there. So we've got a motion and a second to authorize up to $500 worth of stone dust to be purchased. So we're going to vote on that. Tony, how do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. Paula, how do you vote?
Aye.
Darlene?
aye.
Joe? Scott? Aye. Unanimous. Thank you.
Not to exceed 500.
Okay.
I'll coordinate that with the Free Lake folks in Franklin.
Okay. Do you have anything else, Joe?
No, like I said, they're gonna be starting up soon down there. The bathroom unit, this is what I need here. The bathroom unit down there. It's similar to an RV, if you haven't seen it, but we need someone responsible who could take a look at it. I was gonna try to get a hold of the RV place on 79 there, see if we can get a guy to come out and take a look at it. The fan is not working, the AC and the heat is not working. Don't know why. Again, I'm not an expert on this type of unit. No one seems to be, but we need someone to be responsible for it maybe down the road instead of the park commission, and B, get someone take a look at it and see if they can get it fixed. I mean, I can ask the RV place and all that, and may get a quote what it's going to be, but I don't know who else could come out and take a look at it.
Yeah, I don't know. Are there any mobile RV repair?
Yeah, my neighbor actually is Kevin King, and he does that for a living. Like, he tows RVs and repairs them. So, I can just walk across the street and see if he could go take a look and see if he could diagnose the problem for us. I'm sure he wouldn't mind doing that.
Well, you'll have to coordinate with Joe because it's locked up. You need keys to get in there.
Okay.
That would be fantastic, Tony. That would be great. And that's what it needs, is someone who's like a mobile RV tech.
That's yeah.
like
I mean,
Joe
it
said-
just so happens that that's really what he is. I mean, that's the only way I
Yep.
could describe him.
Yep. And as Joe says, that's exactly what this unit is. It's a bathroom on wheels that is set up very close to an RV. That's how they do it. That's how it's built.
Okay. Great.
So that would be great. That would be great.
Yeah, Tony, just let me know when I meet you down there.
Okay. I think Nellie has my email. Well, we can exchange some phone numbers after.
Yep.
Just text
Yep,
me.
we'll have to do that. We'll have to get emails from everybody and a contact phone number.
Are we still just talking about John Pond in general right now?
We are.
So there's a couple of swing sets down there. Is that part of our purview?
Yep.
Has there been any discussion in the past of maybe, juicing that up a little bit and having a better type of play structure for kids?
Not to be a killjoy, but money's an issue right now.
Okay, what if something was donated?
Well, as long as it's in good working order and it's not somebody's piece of junk that they're getting rid of.
Yeah, sure. No, I mean, obviously we're going to make anything that's going to be there safe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to object to that, Joe.
No, we've talked about that, Tony. If we could get someone to donate that, we'd definitely take a look at it and put it in there. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, if I can maybe talk to some people with kids in town and we could garner a little bit of cash to throw something in, and I wouldn't mind donating a little bit of something too to try to have a little bit for while kids are watching their brother or sister play baseball, then they can have at it over there.
Yeah,
No, it's a great idea. It's just been one of those things. The past couple of years have been tough.
Yep.
But yeah, no, that would be great.
Right.
Anything else, Joe?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. I guess we've got old business here to review the mission statement.
Yes, it's been revised. Did everybody get a copy?
I'm sorry, Paula, that's my fault. I did not send a copy. It ended up staying at the lodge when I got suddenly quarantined.
I can just read it. And you can approve it or not approve it. How's that? The mission statement, we don't have a mission statement or a vision statement on our website. And so we're going to try to add this, and Joe and I put some words together. And the mission statement is: the commission is dedicated to preserving and improving both the quality and accessibility of our open space and natural environment, as well as promoting healthy activities and programs in our safe, well-maintained parks and public places. Any corrections or anything extra? No?
I don't hear any.
Okay, I'll go to the vision statement and we can do it all at once. We redid this because, well, it's a long story. Our commission sustains the Ted Williams Camp and the dynamic park system throughout the town. We welcome and provide innovative programs for our evolving community. Our commitment inspires recreation, which promotes health and enjoyment as we reach into the future.
So these are two different statements?
Yeah, one is a mission statement, one's the vision statement for the website.
Okay. Does anybody have any comment or changes, or would you like to make a motion on that, Paula?
To make a motion that we adopt the mission statement and vision statement for our website.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, multiple seconds. Joe and Tony. Before we vote, any further discussion? None heard? How do you vote, Joe?
Aye.
Tony, how would you vote?
Aye.
Paula, how would you vote?
Aye.
Darlene, how would you vote?
Aye.
Scott, aye, unanimous. Thank you very much for your time, Paula. Joe, who's ever helped her. Okay, we're almost there. Items from the clerk. Nothing, thank you. Moving forward. Correspondence? Oh,
No, really the only correspondence I received was the pickleball one, which we already kind of discussed.
okay,
That's all that is going on.
okay, that's all you had?
That's all I have.
All right, do we have any other business for the good of the commission?
I do.
Okay, Paula, go ahead.
Okay, I met with Nancy Lefebvre from the Garden Club. And this is for the front of the business office so that we can put some shrubs and flowers in. And she has sent me back a proposal and I'd like to read it to you. The foundation plantings for the office building proposal 2021. The removal of the overgrown shrubs from the foundation area of the office allows for consideration of replacement plant material. The Garden Club Federation of Massachusetts has a program called Native Plants. Native plants are generally defined as having existed in the area before the European settlement. The program encourages members and the public to consider using native plants at home and in public areas. Some of the reasons behind the idea are that we are losing native plant species to development. Native plants support pollinators and wildlife. Native plants do not require fertilizers, and native plants require less pesticides and water. So with those considerations and based on availability, the following plants are suggested for the area. American holly trees to the left, one to the left of the building in the curved area, garden space, and one to the right. There's a maple leaf viburnum to the left of the porch and to the right of the porch. There'll be two of them. One mountain laurel, center under the large window. One sweet pepper bush, last plant in front of the building. Also perennial plants that have clumping instead of spreading characteristics like gray goldenrod, butterfly milkweed, and narrow leaf mountain mint. The area would be mulched with a non-dyed mulch, and she recommended hemlock or cedar, I think it was, because they're not dyed. Considering the impact that COVID-19 has made on services and budgets, the cost of the project would be funded through the donated materials. So thank you, Nancy, if we allow this for donating the material. I will help her plant, and I will accept any other help from the board if we can agree to this.
Okay, so as far as the cost, it's going to be through donated
That's correct.
material. So do we donate to the parks or do we donate to the garden club?
Well, if we wanted to make a small donation, I'm sure it would be to the garden club.
And then they would purchase. They would.
They're doing
procure
everything. They're doing everything.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'm trying to
Yeah.
map it out.
I
so
thought
that-
maybe we would be putting in the mulch, and I did ask her about that, but she seems to have included that also.
Okay.
They need a
this
sticky
is gonna
note.
be done through donations. That's what you're saying?
Pardon me?
So this will be done through donations?
That is correct. Through
And
the
the
garden club.
garden club will do the work, or with help of other people?
Yes, there will be volunteers.
Okay. All right.
Do I have any volunteers from the board?
Sure. Yep. You can put my name on there.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay, so everyone's kind of got the gist on that. If we could get a motion to accept the garden club's ideas and plan of action.
So moved.
Okay, now we're going to vote. A yes vote would be to allow them to do that through donations and however else we can get this done. And a no vote would be to no, leave it the way it is, looking like a piece of dump. So I'm going to take a roll call vote, and I'll start with Joe on my left.
Yay, yes.
Yes. Tony,
Aye.
Paula,
Aye.
Darlene,
Aye.
Scott, aye, unanimous. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you to the garden club.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you to the garden club.
Oh, she was wonderful to
Yep.
work with.
No, she's a very nice person. Very, very good person. Okay. Anybody else have anything else they want to add? We can get out of here under 2 hours, maybe.
I had something. So I see that I was looking back on the calendar, and that sometimes meetings are at 6:30 and sometimes they were at 8:00. Is that correct?
Yeah.
7. Well, there are times, Tony, when some of the board members were coaches and things like that, and couldn't get to a meeting at 6:30 because the sun was still out and they were on some field.
Yeah.
Being a coach. So we would push the meetings back a little
Well,
bit.
that's my issue. And so I was just going to ask the board if it was possible that 7:30 would be our meeting time. And I know that's tough. It's just, I get home about 5, 6 o'clock and then try to spend an hour with my kids when they go to bed.
I hear you.
Do you need a motion for that? Do you need a motion for that or?
No, the chairman sets the time.
Okay.
Well,
Joe, you're the chairman.
you notice how I slid that one right off?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Only input I would say is sometimes these meetings go 2.5 hours. I think 7:30 would be too late. We'd be out of here 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Well, now I'm going to add to that. And Joe, as the chairman, you will be reviewing the agendas before the meetings, and you can limit the agenda.
Yep.
And you can also take your prerogative and not discuss an item on the agenda. That is your prerogative as the chairman. You have control of the agenda and what's on it and how much time is spent. And I know you've done a good job of being back here and saying, let's move forward. So we'll need to help you move forward also.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, I really feel like, we want to, hit our agenda items each week as quickly as possible. And the time that we're not here, being out there doing the work, making the connections that we need to make, doing the scheduling that we need to schedule, taking care of some of the stuff. So it's really coming back, give the report, vote on what we need to vote on, and then get back to work during the week when we have time to do that. I mean, I'm open to earlier, before 5 o'clock, 3:30. I just, right, 6:30 is really tough.
I'm open to 7.
How about
7.
7?
I just, again, it was back to, I saw that there was meetings at 8 o'clock. listed on the
Not
calendar.
many, but we did have some in the springtime when baseball, softball, and things were going on, and the board was primarily made up of people who were coaching. So
I mean, as summer comes on too, I can do them at pretty much any time of the day. From now until June, it's just really tough.
If we do change the time, and the reason we moved it to the earlier time, as Joe mentioned, unfortunately, we were having meetings that were lasting, and if you start at 8, you're getting done at 10 o'clock. And, but that's his decision. But I'm open to anything, myself. 6:30s can be tough for me also. And I don't have any kids, they're gone, but, just like you said, we got to streamline the meetings and get in and get out and keep the agenda to a workable amount.
Yeah, well, 7's better than nothing. Sure.
Again, I'll take a look at that and I'll put out something next time there for the next meeting. It won't be any later than 7. I'll say for starters, maybe it's 7, but let's talk about that in a few minutes. I get some other items before we determine on the next meeting and time. If you don't mind. Fertilizer for Ted Williams. And I know when Mike was there last time, he was going to have about to Franklin about getting John Pond done. I sent a message to Franklin the other day. He says they don't know anything about it, and he looks like he's got $7,800 already for Ted Williams. Nellie says we only got $4,700 in the budget. So how are we controlling the fertilizer budget for the fields? Because we need to get some at John Pond. It's getting ratty down there.
Joe, I think Mr. LaCAM lectured us, or I shouldn't say lectured, but he said to us last time we had to bid for fertilizer.
No, we don't.
No.
He was saying, he was asking if we had a contract with the company for fertilizer.
Yeah, and he said you have to get, 3 companies? He mentioned it, and he said that we couldn't just depend on getting fertilizer in the spring and fertilizer in the fall. He says it's one contract and you have to contract it out. I just remember that, but.
That's not up for this debate right now. I just wanted to talk about how we want to do it. Because it seems to be an issue right now that Franklin doesn't know what we wanted. And I mean.
Is Franklin getting the quotes now, or?
I don't know how it was left.
At the budget meeting, Selectman LaCAM said fertilizer is Franklin's. Okay,
so Joe, when the guy comes down to Ted Williams camp to give us a quote for the fertilizer, based on the soil test, and he knows the square footage, it's very simple. We send him down to Ted Williams camp to John Pond and have a soil test and measure out the area that you want fertilized, and we figure the price, and if it means something doesn't get done, then we have to scale back on something else. I mean, that's, it's just, it hasn't been included, and it should have been.
Yeah.
So
I'll work with Franklin now. I'll get a price for Franklin again, but I thought we had already done this. I just didn't see any quotes at all. But again,
done what?
I'll get with Franklin on fertilizer and John Pond.
Done what? We've already done what?
Well, I know Mike was going to talk to Franklin about this several times, and I don't know if it took place. So if it didn't, I'll just get with Franklin and get an idea what it's going to cost. Because last time I think we left this, we thought we had money in the budget for John Pond, but that's not what I'm getting from Franklin there. So I'll look into that.
Well, we'll have to figure out some way to do it, Joe.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's all. Then we have to cut back on something else.
Secondly, maybe for the new commissioners as well, the AED units that we have. Paul, it's time to pull them out of mothballs, and are you going to deliver them to the locations, or you want us to come get them for the locations?
Actually, they were in the business office, the AEDs, Nellie, in that file cabinet, and I think that's moved. I don't know where it is.
No, there was nothing in that file cabinet that got moved to Loon Pond Lodge.
I'm sorry, then maybe I understand your question, Joe.
So where are the AED units?
They
First
were
and
in the
back?
file cabinet in a box in the business office.
In Nellie's office or just in the general open space?
They were in the business office in Nellie's file cabinet in a cardboard box. They were all there for the winter.
Okay,
Well, with the exception of Loon Pond Lodge one.
Paula, I'm just trying to ask you, were
Yeah.
they locked up in Nellie's office or were they outside in the general area?
They were inside Nellie's office.
Okay, then they must still be there.
Well, they were working inside the office and they moved things around because they did the ceilings and they're renovating. But I didn't happen to see that file cabinet there. I don't know where it is.
Did he put
They-
the fireplace in?
The split
Fireplace.
unit?
Did he put the fireplace in
What
in the
fireplace?
central air?
Oh, the split unit? No, I'm gonna
No,
touch
the
base with
central air.
Nate.
That's a split unit.
No, central air. We're getting central air and a fireplace.
You're kidding.
Yep.
You're kidding.
This is gonna be in meeting minutes, so I'm gonna expect my fireplace in central air.
There you go. All right.
Same.
All right.
All right. Well, you know what? We'll try and find the AEDs. They got to be there someplace. Maybe
They were in that office, so I can go and look.
So
I don't have a problem.
maybe they moved-
If we find the file cabinet, I'm sorry, the gray one, then they should be in there.
So who's gonna put them in the locations? Who's gonna
You.
pick them out and put them where they belong?
Everybody
Chairman.
takes their own to their own place.
Who's taking what? I'll take John Pond, but who's gonna take Ted Williams and put them out? Who?
I'll
I
take
can
the one
do
that
it.
goes outside.
All I'm saying that I want to make sure we get responsibility. Who's doing what?
I have
How
no
much
idea
can you
what
do?
you're talking about. I don't
Okay.
even know what
All
these
right.
are.
Okay. Let's back up a second.
What are these things in Nellie's office?
All right. AED machines. They're the
Defibrillators,
there you go. The defibrillators, the jump start you.
Oh, I got you.
We
Okay,
we
the
purchased some
battery
years
chargers.
ago.
I got it.
And Paula took it on her own to get them up and working last year, and she did a great job with that.
Well, I think she
Now
should
we
do it
have-
again.
We have a unit for
Each.
Clear Pond. We have
Yep.
one in the lodge. We have one outside the bathroom at Ted Williams Camp. We have one at John Pond.
Yep.
We have one at John Pond. Is that 4, right? We have 4.
Yep.
And
Well, it's
that's,
too much responsibility for me. I don't want to be responsible for a defibrillator. sorry.
I'll get the one for Ted Williams Camp that goes outside. Paula will get the one for Clear Pond. Joe will get the one for John Pond, and the one in the lodge should be there.
Right.
Okay,
Okay,
Yeah.
Joe?
Are we gonna have training for coaches this year?
We should.
New coaches?
Can I just say that somebody from town hall wanted to know why they weren't invited for this training of the AEDs and the CPR? So can we extend that invitation?
As long as we can fit them all into the building at the same time
And
and
if the,
be socially distant. We can
And
only
if-
fit so many people.
yeah, right. And the fire department can, hopefully I'll ask them again to put the class on.
That would be great. But first of all, I think, like Joe said, we should spearhead to the coaches.
Okay.
And maybe you could even, or Darlene or someone could reach out to Boston Tavern, seeing how they're gonna be at the building, if they wanna come also, or some of their people that are gonna be there at the functions.
Now, they should have somebody on board from the employees at the tavern that should know how to use an AED.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. We should put it out to them also. I mean, to me, they're as vital as the coaches because they're there.
Yeah,
And if we have room, then by all means, we can invite town hall, but I didn't see the reason to invite them last year.
never crossed my mind, really.
No, I mean, we were concerned with the coaches and the lodge.
Mhm.
right.
So, anything else, Joe?
No, that's all I have.
That's all you have. Anybody have anything else?
No,
8:51. Okay,
I just have a question for Nellie, but I can ask after,
yes,
okay?
yes.
So Nellie, stay on board.
Okay,
Sure.
so we're gonna,
Motion to adjourn.
can't call this meeting at 8:51 after we
Wait,
pick
no.
a new date.
We're gonna schedule our next meeting.
I just said that.
Okay,
I said after we pick a new date for our next meeting.
All right, I just want to make sure.
all right, Nellie.
Sorry, I need this for my minute.
Okay.
2 weeks would be the week of the 19th through the 23rd.
Yeah, I'd suggest we go back to Monday, the 19th at say 7:00.
Monday, the 19th.
Okay, that works for me.
We'll try 7:00.
Okay. That works. That works for me.
All right, Monday, the 19th at 7:00. Okay, we're gonna
Please have agenda items to Nellie, before, within another week or so, folks.
yep. She has to
Okay.
she has to turn them in, so it would be Thursday before a Monday meeting, which means we need to get them to her by Wednesday morning at the latest, so that Joe can review the agenda.
Okay,
And then she can get it, and it has to be posted 48 hours before the meeting, which would be all day Friday, all day Monday. So she would get it in on Thursday. So that gives everybody time. If we say, Tuesday night, Monday morning, your agenda items.
Monday, the 19th is Patriots Day.
Yeah, so,
It's a holiday.
yeah.
Who?
to start a school vacation.
It is during school vacation.
I don't care. I don't have
They
any
can,
kids.
they can email you their agenda requests. You don't have to answer them.
I'm not sure if we can hold a meeting on a holiday. It's Lillian that's saying this.
Oh,
On
oh,
Facebook.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the agenda items. I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, we can't have
The
the meeting on
19th
it.
is a
holiday.
holiday.
Okay,
So
Thanks,
just,
Will.
Can't have it on a holiday. Sorry.
Okay,
what about the 20th?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, the 20th. Is that okay?
Fine with me.
Tuesday, the 20th at 7 PM?
Yeah.
Sound good?
And just want to think, just so people know, whoever gets scheduling, we have to vote on the contracts and approve them before we say okay to the leagues. So if someone comes through with a contract, we got to bring it to the board. Maybe Nellie can send out the contracts to everybody so you can see what they look like. But we vote on those before we give them the go ahead.
Okay, my question is, do they have the contracts?
Some of them do. I'm getting the rest of them out.
No,
'Cause I was just gonna say, we can't get them back if they don't have them.
well, and Doug wanted that one for the week of school vacation for Mass Effect.
Right.
Yes, I'm gonna get his out this week too.
Do we want to, if we do that, do we want to vote on a fee now, or do we want to wait till he turns it in? Because that might be too late, or, well, I guess that's right before school vacation, right?
Is there any precedent to do a fee that with anything that's been done like this before? I just have no idea. I mean, I don't mind voting on it right now if you guys have a reasonable number.
Our fee structure is $20 a head for a season, but that's for a season. That's not for 1 or 2 sessions or a week or, I think in the past we've done smaller amounts, like if it's a week thing, $5 a head. It's easier for them to budget a number when you do it that way. They can adjust their pricing up or down based on a $5 increment or something to that effect. I'm just saying what we've done in the past.
So why don't we just say for a year for Doug to start off, maybe $10 a month or something?
I mean, just say so what we've done in the past. I mean, we can use the private use contract, Nellie, for field use. I think in the past, we've done it for the soccer folks. I'd say like $100, $150 period for start off for the first year. I think we did that with that soccer lady, Scott, Nellie.
Yep.
So just to be consistent to Tony's point, maybe if it's $150, we say $150 for this year. So they get their feet wet.
I was thinking 120 and that's $10 a month. But I'm fine with 150, whatever.
Scott, Nellie, what do you think? And you guys
150 is comparable to when B-Fit was using field space for workouts as well.
Okay.
Okay. Let's vote on it.
All right. Do we want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion. We charge Doug's group, whatever they call themselves again, Sports
Mass
Effect
Effect.
Academy, $150 for 2021 season,
For the whole season or the month?
for the season.
The season for the rest of this fiscal year.
For the first year. For the first year to be revisited.
I second that.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor, Joe?
Aye.
Paula?
Aye.
Darlene?
Aye.
Tony?
Aye.
Scott? Aye. Okay, great. That way he can budget for it.
Yeah.
Who's going to contact Doug and let him know?
Oh, I will. I have to send him the contract anyway.
Okay, there you go. There you go. And we'll work from there. Do we have anything else? Okay. It is not 8:51 anymore. It's now 8:57. I'd like to call this meeting to order and yeah.
Try again.
Yep.
Motion to
Okay.
adjourn.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn. Joe? Your
Yeah.
vote?
Yes,
Yes.
aye.
Tony?
Aye.
Paula?
Aye.
Darlene?
Aye.
Scott? Aye. Meeting is agended 8:58 PM. Thank you, everyone.